I'm Betsy Edwards, the Executive Director of the Virginia Press Association. Welcome to the 2021 VPA News and Advertising Contest Best in Show Awards. It's always exciting to come together to celebrate the best journalism from across Virginia. We had more than 3,000 entries in this year's contest, making each category competitive. The contest was judged by the Pennsylvania News Media Association. Thanks to all of you for participating this year. Now I'd like to introduce Chad Harrison, the president of the VPA board. Chad is the president of Womack Publishing, which owns 12 newspapers in Virginia. Here's Chad.
Hello everyone, this is Chad Harrison, the current board president of the Virginia Press Association, and welcome to the 2021 VPA News and Advertising Best in Show presentation. On behalf of the board, I want to thank and congratulate all of our nominees on a tremendous amount of work and dedication, and thank you for all that you've done, and take some time this week to enjoy this moment. We'd also like to thank our staff for all the hard work that made this presentation possible and allow us to get together in this way to celebrate your hard work and dedication. We'd also like to take a moment to thank the board and the staff for a wonderful year. It's been an honor to serve as your president. Thank you to the VPA and thank you to the membership for all that you do to make this association successful, and congratulations once again on a great year of work. Enjoy the week. Congratulations to all the winners and nominees.
Welcome back. Now I'd like to introduce Jason Roos. Jason is the president of Spring Story. He's our MC for this year. Let's hand it over to Jason.
Thanks, Betsy. It's great to be here with you all today and celebrate the journalism that's happening across Virginia. And good to see you. Before we announce our awards, I'd like to introduce the members of the VPA board and the officers for 2021 and 22. Chad Harrison of Womack Publishing is president. Vice President Carol McCracken of the Chesterfield Observer. Jim Maxwell of the Bristol Herald Courier is secretary. Treasurer is Chris Worrell of the Virginian Pilot and Daily Press. Jay Kennedy of the Washington Post is past president. Gene Patterson Boone of the Richmond Free Press is director. Another director is Dennis Brock of Rappahannock News. And director Mike Guggenauer of the Northern Virginia Daily. Also Lisa Watson-McCarty of Scott County, Virginia Star. And Kelly Mert of the News in Advance. Paige Mudd of the Richmond Times-Dispatch. Norman Steyer of Loud and Now. And your executive director and assistant secretary treasurer is Betsy Edwards. We'll start today with our Outstanding Journalist Awards, and the first award goes to a journalist who is 30 years old or younger and already making an impact with his or her work. The winner of the 2021 Outstanding Young Journalist Award provided readers with insightful, revealing coverage of what remained the story of the year, the COVID-19 pandemic. The work relies on data in her reporting to hold state officials accountable, exhibiting one of the cornerstones of high-quality journalism. She used data to document the state's uneven management of the COVID-19 pandemic and its inequitable distribution of vaccines by showing how the largest hospital systems hoarded doses. She listened to a reader and caught the state in instances of hiding information from the public. She used data to reveal the consequences to defendants' due process rights in an already crowded state mental health system asked to do more with less. The recipient of the 2021 Outstanding Young Journalist Award is Kate Masters of the Virginia Mercury. Congratulations. And now for the Outstanding Journalist of the Year Award. This winner produced excellent work that exemplifies a doggedness and attention to detail that the best journalists possess and use to tell compelling stories that matter to communities. It recognizes the importance of getting out there and talking to as many people as possible to find out what's really going on. This person shows a commitment to digging up details, which enabled her to connect the dots and produce compelling stories. The tenacious reporting also helped to establish stunning connections in stories about two men who were charged with raping and murdering women in Virginia Beach. and she provided her community with in-depth reporting and poignant writing about crimes and victims. The recipient of the 2021 Outstanding Journalist of the Year Award goes to Jane Harper of the Virginian Pilot. Congratulations. Well, by now you already know the winners of the first, second, and third place awards in all the divisions throughout the different categories. And right now we're going to announce the Best in Show winners. These are the awards selected from all of the first place recipients in each category. We'll go through each one now. First, in Daily Digital, the Best in Show, and I'll read some of the judges' comments as we go. This exemplified solid work by a talented videographer. The Best in Show for Daily Digital goes to Eva Russo of the Richmond Times-Dispatch. In NonDaily Digital, the judge said, "Well done. The photography really brings to life the industrial nature of this occupation. The focus on close-up views of the tools and labors of the trade were very interesting. The overall presentation is complete and shows the legacy of this individual's life's work. Everyone viewing and reading this article knows exactly what this feature is about. Good job." And the winner is Luke Christopher of Rappahannock News. In online digital category, the Best in Show, this judge wrote, "Great human interest in business enterprise story, well researched." The recipient is Jose Encinas and Aaron Flynn of What's Up Prince William for Best in Show online digital. In the specialty digital category, the judge wrote, the presentation for this was so much fun and refreshing, pun intended. And the recipient is Mandy Loy and Justin Vaughn, Richmond Magazine. For Best in Show Daily Graphics, Illustration, and Art, the judge wrote, "The drawings were well done, clearly communicated the message, and nice and bold, which let them stand out." The winner is Dwayne Carpenter of the Richmond Times-Dispatch for Best in Show Daily Graphics, Illustration, and Art. In non-daily graphics, illustration, and art, the judge wrote, "Wonderful use of map. There's a ton of information that's presented in a clear and concise way." The recipient is Laura Stanton and Bob Hurley of Rappahannock News. Congratulations. Moving into the specialty graphics, illustration, and art, Best in Show, the judge said, "Great use of illustrative powers to tell a story through visuals." The winner is Brianna Herzog and Justin Vaughn of Richmond Magazine. And now in the daily photography category, the judge commented that the high angle of this image with the strong offset lines of the crosses in the background puts this at the top of the pack in a very strong group of images. The winner is Shaban Afiman of the Richmond Times-Dispatch, Best in Show for Daily Photography. And now non-daily photography. The judge wrote that umpire is having none of it from the young player. It's a moment that just about everybody can identify with because we've all disagreed with an umpire. You can't help but laugh out loud because you know what the umpire's look means and you know how futile the girl's argument has become. The recipient is Lee Luther Jr., Amherst New Era Progress. The Best in Show for online photography. It's no surprise that a Best in Show competition had really strong entries, and everyone that made it this far clearly deserved accolades. The winning entry captured the people doing something fascinating in a way that was so compelling that it made it just a notch above the other outstanding entries. You couldn't help but be curious what these folks were doing in the park. And the recipient is Mike Tripp of the Harrisonburg Citizen. Best in Show for specialty photography. The judge said, "Just love this image starting with a different angle and the composition elements of line and simplicity all coming together." The winner is Eric Foster and Justin Vaughn of Richmond Magazine. In daily presentation, consistency is key, and you guys nailed it. This is a very large publication, and you've managed to keep page E9 looking like A2. I never have to guess what I'm reading, but you take subtle chances that set things like feature and lifestyle pages apart. excellent design judgment, also excellent use of your teaser space above the flag. All the little elements combined to make a fantastic, complete package. And for daily presentation, the best in show goes to the staff of the Richmond Times-Dispatch. In non-daily presentation, the judge wrote, "This publication is a feast for the eyes. I'm eager to turn each page and discover something new every time. I love that they're not afraid of trying different things, whether it be font and headline choices, creative use of colors, or non-traditional design and photo elements. Fun while still being packed full of important news. Pulls off a wide variety of style and techniques while avoiding feeling disjointed. There is still a strong sense of connection and fluidity. These are the chances all publications should be taking, from daily hard news to features. Congratulations on a job well done. The winner is the staff of The Breeze, the James Madison University newspaper." For specialty presentation, the judge wrote, "Lots of design variety while still remaining cohesive. Every story pops in a different way. Excellent photography that's used to lead the stories. Even mushrooms were made interesting because of the attention to design and layout." And the recipient for Best in Show specialty presentation goes to Troy Cooper of Suffolk Living. Now in our writing categories, we'll start with the Daily Division. The judge wrote, "Incredibly well reported and well written without overwriting, which can happen at times. Every sentence is engaging with perfect descriptions and vivid imagery, particularly in the COVID reaction piece, a miniature cobblestone paved down her arm. A standout in a category full of standouts." The winner is Alicia Sowers of the Virginian Pilot. And now for the Best in Show non-daily writing. The judge wrote, "The writer's knowledge of his topics and accessible writing style shine through in these three stories. Excellent explanatory journalism and a pleasure to read. So many great entries, but only one prize. Virginia is blessed to have such excellent community journalism and talented writers." And the winner is Michael Pope of Alexandria Gazette Packet. In the online writing category, the Best in Show, the judge wrote, "I found this to be a challenging category to judge with several well-written and critically important entries. However, this stood out for clear writing, solid sourcing, great use of quotes, and links to help readers. Didn't feel like some COVID-19 coverage that reads like a medical manual written by a politician. This was straightforward, informative, easy to follow, never boring. Everything is spot on." And the winner is Jesse Higgins of Charlottesville Tomorrow. And now the Best in Show in specialty writing. The judge said, "This was an excellent and engaging article. I want to know what they find." The winner is Chris Wadsworth of Ashburn Magazine. And now in our advertising division, for Best in Show daily advertising, the judge said, "The ad was eye-catching, clean, and very informative. There was a lot of content, but layout design made this easy to follow." The winner is Julie Ketchum of the Richmond Times-Dispatch. In non-daily advertising, the Best in Show went to someone the judge said had a beautiful and clean layout with great use of white space and fonts that complemented the ad. And the recipient is Tracy Federico for specialty advertising, the Best in Show winner. The judge said, "Not a person in the world who wouldn't be brought in by the graphic alone. Love in the graphic translates nicely to message of headline." The winner is Judy Harbin and Nikki Marsha of Ashburn Magazine. And now we'll move into a long-time category, the D. Lathan Mims Award. This is an award that was established in 1974, and the point was to highlight editors who were showing the things that would make a community a better place through their editorial decisions, and oppose those that detract from the quality of life in their communities. This award, let me tell you a little bit about what the judges said about this winner. The bio of this year's winner is impressive. It paints a clear picture of a successful businessman and media entrepreneur an owner of multiple newspapers, and a veteran editor and publisher of community newspapers throughout the South. But one thing that his bio doesn't show is something only his writing reveals: a deep-felt passion to understand the communities that his newspapers serve, and a desire to promote greater understanding among the people who live in them. The evidence for that lies in his columns, which are, quite simply, a joy to read. He tackles the tough topics: equity, inclusion, race relations, academic freedom, parents' rights, issues that have people throwing verbal and sometimes actual punches at each other. But he never strays from a reasoned tone, and that never stops asking people to listen, never stops appealing to what Lincoln so memorably called their better angels. I think there might be an easier way to teach journalism students a conversational approach to writing. Have them read one of this year's dispatches. The winner of the 2021 D. Lathan Mims Award is Steve Stewart of the Smithfield Times. Now it's time to announce the VPA Award for Journalistic Integrity and Community Service. A little bit about this award. It was established in 1949, and it's meant to stress editorial leadership as well as community service that goes above and beyond an outlet's typical course of duty in their circulation. The judges are looking for evidence of a significant effort beyond the member's routine scope, the initiative of the member, the use of editorials in connection with the project, and the results, what was accomplished. Let me tell you a little bit about what the judge said about this year's recipient. With a history dating back to Reconstruction, this year's winner has been committed to confronting the major controversial issues affecting its readers and the communities it serves for more than 150 years. Its latest decision to confront the connection between education, housing, and poverty is just the latest example of that commitment. They took a comprehensive approach to the issue, beginning with hosting a town hall to give community members a chance to be heard on the issues. They assigned 2 reporters and their editor to the project and enlisted the services of a geographer as well, a significant commitment of resources. In an 8-story series, they chronicled the development of their city since Reconstruction as one that has become more segregated, not less, with the passage of time. Their efforts included significant community outreach throughout the project, including a town hall style forum via Microsoft Teams where people can log on and share their stories with us and their neighbors. They described the reason for the gathering as an effort to continue our reporting on this topic and in recognition that we don't know everything or close to it. The recipient of the VPA Award for Journalistic Integrity and Community Service is the Virginian pilot. Congratulations. Now we move into our sweepstakes categories. This is created by totaling up all the points of the winners in each category and coming up with the sweepstakes in each category. The sweepstakes for news, and we'll move into advertising. First, in the Daily 1 category, the recipient is the Northern Virginia Daily. The news sweepstakes winner in the Daily 2 category is the Freelance Star. In the Daily 3 category, the news sweepstakes winner for 2021 is the Richmond Times-Dispatch. Now, in the non-Daily 1 category, the winner of the news sweepstakes is the Greene County Record. In the non-Daily 2 category, the news sweepstakes winner is the Rappahannock News. In the non-Daily 3 category, the news sweepstakes winner is Fauquier Times. And the news sweepstakes winner in the non-Daily 4 category is Inside Nova, Prince William. Moving into the online category, the news sweepstakes winner for 2021 is the Virginia Mercury. In the specialty category, the news sweepstakes winner is Richmond Magazine. And in the advertising sweepstakes, the winner of the Daily 1 category is the Northern Virginia Daily. In the Daily 3 category, the advertising sweepstakes winner is the Richmond Times-Dispatch. In the non-daily 1 category, advertising sweepstakes, the winner is the Cambridge Victoria Dispatch. The non-daily 2 category for advertising sweepstakes, the winner is the Tidewater News. The advertising sweepstakes winner in the non-daily 3 category is Fauquier Times. And in non-daily 4 category, the advertising sweepstakes goes to the Suffolk News Herald. In the specialty category, the advertising sweepstakes winner is Richmond Magazine. And now we combine the sweepstakes in both news and advertising to come up with a grand sweepstakes winner in each category. And we'll start with daily 1. The grand sweepstakes for 2021 is the Northern Virginia Daily. Grand sweepstakes in daily 3 is the Richmond Times-Dispatch. Grand sweepstakes in non-daily 1 is Times Virginia. Grand sweepstakes in non-daily 2, the Tidewater News. In non-daily 3, the grand sweepstakes winner is Fauquier Times. In non-daily 4, the grand sweepstakes winner is Inside Nova Prince William. And the grand sweepstakes winner in the specialty category is Richmond Magazine. Congratulations to everyone and to all who worked so hard throughout the year under difficult times. Thank you for your efforts. We look forward to seeing you, and best wishes on your year in journalism.
So I've been standing next to Bob Brown for the last 41 years of his 54-year career here at the Richmond Times-Dispatch, mostly in political and news events all across the state, as a competitor, a colleague, and more importantly, a friend. But I think the most important and substantial time we spent together was at the Virginia General Assembly. He's covered thousands of committee meetings. He grabbed onto it early on and decided it was easier going there than going out and doing weather features or covering wrecks and all that stuff. He developed these relationships with the legislators who absolutely loved him. They told him everything that was going on. He was there all the time. He developed stealth photography. He started using Leicas early on, which are very quiet, very small cameras, and caught candid moments just mostly on the floors of the session. I only did a portion of the legislative photography that he did. He was always there working late into the night, just doing all the nuanced stuff. Along with the pictures that he gave to the paper, he took a lot of candids of these legislators, and he would print them out and put little caption bubbles on them, put little biting comments that that a lot of it was inside baseball. Not a lot of folks would understand, but the next morning he would deliver these prints to the legislators on the floor of the House or the floor of the Senate, and they just loved it. They loved it. Governor Northam had a bunch in the mansion while he was governor, and the walls of the press room are covered with all these prints. One of the more interesting things that happened was that all the governors get together at the inauguration, and they all get together for a picture. And when we're done taking that picture, Bob Brown will jump in front of him, and I always take that picture of him in front. And this last time, expressions on all the governors, they all know him, they all love him, was just priceless. He is apolitical. I've never really gotten an idea on which side of the fence he is, if there is a fence. It's amazing that he's still doing just spectacular work at 84 years old, but who in the heck wants to be working so hard when you're that old? The body of work that he produced at the Virginia General Assembly, I don't think will ever be equaled. It was just so substantial.
It's not just always about the work with Bob. I think it's also about connections that he builds through the work. As an editor, he has done nothing but made my job easier. Bob is dedicated, professional, passionate, and meticulous. He forces you to raise your game and to raise your level. And that's one thing I always admired about Bob, because he doesn't really take a day off. We will go out on an assignment and the expectation is always exceeded. And that's what I always say. If you want to be successful, exceed expectations. And I cannot recall a day where Bob has not done that. The fact that he can turn in 30 photos from something like a press conference and still feel like he hasn't done the job appropriately is what sets him apart from just about everyone I've ever worked with. Bob is known for giving people pet names around the newsroom, and I'm sure it extends beyond the newsroom as well. But if you got one of Bob's pet names, and I've sat across the cubicle from him and heard him call out those names of people, and Bob could tell, depending on how someone walked, who was walking by without even looking. And that's how much attention he pays to detail.
The nickname he gave me, the New York kid who's spent now most of his life in Virginia, Thomas Jefferson Davis Shapiro. Well, it's said that a picture is worth 1,000 words. If Bob Brown was producing at least a picture a day for the Times-Dispatch out of the state capitol or off the campaign trail, well, that's 36,500 words at minimum. Multiply that times 54, and you have millions and millions and millions of words. I've worked alongside Bob for nearly 40 of his 54 years as a news photographer here at the Richmond newspapers. We've collaborated on a lot of political stories. We've collaborated as well on a bottle or two or three of bourbon.
Bob and I traveled thousands and thousands of miles together across Virginia for stories. And I don't think we ever had a crossword or even thought of having a crossword. And part of that was we got along really well. And some of that is due to the fact that we both like listening to the Eagles. We both like eating pie at any time of day. But I think the main reason is because I'm deaf in one ear, and so I missed half of what he said and I ignored the rest. Bob always drove on these trips we took because he had a company car, so I was riding shotgun. Shotgun, there's a loaded word riding with Bob, right? Maybe I won't use that one. We would seek out really small places like Dot and Speck and Busthead. I mean, these are places that are basically, communities is too much for them. They were signs, that's what they were. But we had a good time with them, and we would always find somebody to talk about these places, and we just had a blast. And pretty much everywhere we went, we found music or moonshine or pie. And sometimes all three, if we were really lucky. When we first started, we started doing this so long ago, we had what we had an atlas, and we referred to it as the magic map. And then, of course, as things went on, we got the lady who talked to us in a recorded voice on the phone and stuff like that. No matter where we were, middle of nowhere, Bob says, well, up here on the right, just over the next rise, behind the forest or something, there's a little pawn shop I went into 15 years ago and bought a knife or a gun or something, I don't know. And we go in there, and then they would remember him, But it was like that everywhere. But it was the same with diners, too. He remembered what kind of pie or gravy he had at some place just around the next bend. He was like an encyclopedia to travel with. He just had such an enthusiasm for what he did. He just loved his job. That was the basis of it all.
Bob Brown grew up in Rockbridge County. He was born at his grandparents' house in Buena Vista and
Not Buena Vista.
That's right, and moved to Lexington when he was 6. Bob had a love of music from an early age, which led to singing in the choir and a high school spot in the All-State Chorus. As a young man, he was also a member of the Virginians, a 1960s recording group. In the 50s, Bob came to Richmond to attend art school at RPI, or Richmond Professional Institute, now VCU. He switched his major to photography when he realized he could shoot better than photos than he could draw them. Interesting. In 1958, fresh out of school, Bob was hired at WRVA TV, which is now WWBT, Channel 12, as a film editor. When he wasn't busy in the film department, he'd watch the live broadcasts of the Sailor Bob Show. And occasionally he was asked to play one of the show's wacky characters. He also wrote and recorded musical jingles for commercials on the side and shot promotional photos at local theaters. An editor at the Richmond papers, which at the time would have been the Richmond Times-Dispatch and the Virginia News Leader, those photos caught the eye of the editor, and he was asked to come work at the Richmond papers. And he started here in 1968. He was thrilled that he was going to be paid to take photos, he said. For the next 50 plus years, Bob took photos of and covered everything from the Virginia General Assembly to hurricanes and floods to high school football. He covered 11 national political conventions, where he loved running with the, quote, big dogs, end quote, in the business. Traveling abroad for photo shoots and covering the back roads of Virginia was very satisfying, but Bob felt most at home at Virginia's capital. House Speaker Todd Gilbert says, "I guess it's a cliche to say that Bob is an institution, but it's true. When you see Bob stalking with a camera around his neck, you know there's something important happening." Bob never took the important moments too seriously, though. His photos of legislators and staffers with witty cartoon-like quote bubbles can be found all over the Capitol. In 1984, he published a bunch of these in a book called Capitol Comics. As one colleague said, whatever he covers, Bob is always looking for and finding the significant moment that tells a story. More important, he captures the moment so unobtrusively that the subject is often surprised by the published image. When Bob wasn't busy mentoring a young photographer or driving the back roads of Virginia, he was and will continue to be tending to his farmette in Verina with his wife Evelyn, or spending time with the grandchildren.
And a new puppy.
Okay. Bob has had a long, fulfilling, and illustrious career. He's met presidents, hung out with governors, covered the military in far-off places. When asked to sum up his life as a photographer, he always says, "It beats working for a living." On behalf of the Virginia Press Association, it is my honor to present you with the 2022 Lifetime Achievement Award for your exceptional contributions to the newspaper industry and to a lifetime of telling the stories and history of the Commonwealth of Virginia. Congratulations, Bob.
Thank
He has a photographer's eye, doesn't he?
Oh, this is great.
Yeah, you want to say anything? Besides,
Just, I figured eventually I'd get one of these. So, but I don't know. It's, like I say, it's been a good ride, and I enjoyed working with all the folks here. Well, most of them. And it's just been such a I don't know, the last couple of weeks, month or so, all these stories and stuff like that, TV interviews, I don't know, I prefer being on this side of the camera.
right.
But I really appreciate this.
Well, we appreciate you and all that you've done for Virginia newspapers and for Virginia. We don't give this award away very often. It's been 4 years since we last gave the award. It was to Dorothy Abernathy, who retired from the AP. But Bob, as soon as we heard that you were retiring, we knew immediately that you needed to receive it. So congrats.
That's great.
And thanks for all you've done.
Thank you.
And thanks to everybody. Thank you, and congratulations to all the winners on the great work you did this year. We're excited to let you know that in 2023 we'll be coming back together in person. We'll be holding the conference and awards banquet at the Shore Pump Hilton on May 5th and 6th. So we'll see you all in 2023.